It's a mediocre time with Tom and Dan.
Put some respect on my name.
Respect our name.
I ain't gonna say it no more.
You cracker ass motherfuckers.
everybody? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy 7th of July to you. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you being here. Let me give a quick rundown and warm up the vocal cords on a Monday. I think my camera's fucked up. No, that's all right, I guess. Let me give some love to everybody. SJ first in here. Ghost of Manute Bull. Hello, buddy. Ghost of Manute Bull wanted me to tell you he's here early because he doesn't feel like doing actual work despite having plenty to do, and he works for the county, so he's everything Tom hates in government.
I don't hate it.
I thought you liked when people took advantage of yeah.
I just making fun of it.
He makes I think sometimes you guys get confused that when we're making fun of something that we hate it. There's not a lot of stuff we hate.
No.
But we will make fun of it. But we will make fun of it.
Oh yeah. I'll make fun of
everything.
anything.
Yeah, I make fun of
almost everything.
I can make fun of I make fun of things behind the scenes I shouldn't make fun of.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean I hate anything.
But if you make fun of everything, yeah. It's people I'm making fun of the government. There's nothing I could do about it, so I don't hate it. There's nothing I hate, really. You know what I'm saying?
Neo Del Rio, Keyed Up BDM, EMH82. What up, Keyed Up? How was your ride? Clark, Tuggin Clark. He's like, we talk to him all the time.
Riding through some storms.
He and I were having a gay email interchange where we're talking about blowing each other via emails.
That's
if you know,
weird.
you know. Yeah, it is weird. If you know, you know. Let's see here. Who else am I missing? Robert, what up, buddy? I think that's everybody so far. I'm sure there's some other people that popped in here. Conway J, what up, buddy? Just Jen.
What everybody do for 4th of July? Is there
Merchman, hello, good morning.
Rainy 4th of July.
Suzette, hello. It was kind of rainy. Reiki, what up? All right. We're waiting on Moonjet.
Yeah. He should be here in a second.
Old Moonjet. Taking the photos. People don't know that Moonjet shows us all those boudoir photos, right? That that he sends all of those to us uncensored. No, he doesn't do that. Do you have to have some sort of contract with people that they won't do that? I would be very concerned if I were taking boudoir. I would want to sign some documentation where I could hold the person accountable later to not pass around photos of my pecker.
There is, I think, from what I've heard, the person that takes them says, like, listen, I take them on this drive, it will go to you or whatever.
Yeah, but I don't have them afterwards.
Yeah, but I do not keep them. They get erased.
But I wouldn't believe anybody that says that.
I guess the person's livelihood depends on it,
does.
right? Because
so what I would do is I would never share them, but I would jack off to them privately.
Yeah. Usually, I think it's women who do the majority of taking those photos.
Not in
for other
Orlando.
women.
I can name 4 photographers in Orlando that do boudoir, all 4 guys.
Yeah. No, guys will do it, but I imagine the customer would prefer a woman, right?
I would, for mine. If you're taking photos of me, I would like a...
Yeah.
That's always been a dream of mine, is to have... It's the old Playboy trope of female photographer. This is big in the late 80s, early 90s. It was high-waisted jean, acid wash jeans. I'm painting a picture here. Short, blonde Debbie Gibson hair. Maybe a tied-up... like a little kerchief in the top of it. She's wearing overalls. They're acid wash overalls, and I'm wearing acid wash overalls. And the idea of our photo shoot is splatter paint. We're splatter painting neon colors on white overalls.
Okay.
And we're playful splattering, and she's taking the photos of me, and I'm splattering the paint on me, and then she's like, and then gently my overalls fall to the floor. We're fucking in the paint. Playboy. That's what they did. That was every boy has seen a variation of the fucking in the paint. Every young man has seen something like that and be like, when I grow up, I'm gonna be a photographer and I'm gonna fuck this lady in some paint. So that's the first question to Tony when he gets here is, have you ever fucked a woman in the paint? Because that's what I see on the Playboy. I remember one time, this is still part of the warm-up. I remember one time that we'd set up a photo shoot for the Monsters, and we'd gone over to this place. I do believe this is before your time. But Savannah would remember this one, and it's probably better that she's not here because I know there's certain things she doesn't like to talk about. But we went to this guy's place and to get the photos done, and it was like when photographers would rent like a loft, and then half of it would be their studio, but they'd also live there. And he had like a little mini fridge, and Savannah and I looked inside of it, and there were drugs. Lots and lots of drugs.
All right.
Like lots of drugs.
In the fridge? What do you need to keep cold?
Wait, it was bottles of like liquid drugs. Like codeine and...
Oh, yeah. Some lean.
Yeah, he had all kinds of different things, and there were like some pills scattered about. You know, they found that lady that... you know the really famous chef lady that has the swoopy-doo cockatoo hair? They found her dead last week in her shower, and there were pills scattered everywhere.
Huh.
I always think that's a dramatic way to go out. When you scatter the pills everywhere.
Yeah. Usually the people that I know that love pills, they tend not to scatter them around. Because
I don't have enough to scatter. I'm taking them all.
Yeah.
There's not enough to scatter.
Yeah, you need to be real careful with those pills.
Thank you, Sarah. Ann Burrell.
Shit your pants if you don't have
She
them.
was sweet. Like, I used to watch her on, I'd watch her all the time on, like, Food Network on those challenge shows. And then, like, on the Beat Bobby Flay. I think she was always a bit of a character on there. That's sad. But hopefully it was just natural causes and, you know. Not that it matters. She's gone, so I guess it doesn't really matter what it was. But hello, Sarah, Conway J, all you guys, welcome. We're glad to have you guys here. We're doing a normal Monday OG BDM deal with you today. We have a lot of stuff scattered on the paper to kick around.
We're going to do a Dump 'em Out Monday.
I love that.
We're just going to rocket through some things. Let me just
DM,
text.
dump 'em out Mondays. Yeah, she seemed to did they say what her cause of death was? Not that it's any of my business, but I thought maybe they would have publicized that. But yeah, it was sad because she was funny. Like, I like the funnier chefs. That's why I like Matty Matheson. And you look at that guy and you're like, wow, he could go in any moment too. He's a very large man, but I think he's losing a lot of weight. He's working on it, so that's good.
Anytime someone dies, you always look in the article for cause of death, but they report it so fast now that the cause of death doesn't come out for a long time, really, because it takes a while for the coroner report and all
Unless
that.
we know, like it was like shotgun blast of the face, you know.
Yeah. What is
Like, those are
what
easy
is it
ones.
mysterious? Like, and then
You want a fun fact? I'll give you a fun fact I read this morning that kind of ties into people dying. So for years, the song "Hey Man, Nice Shot" by the band Filter people have always said that's about Kurt Cobain,
okay,
and it is not. It is about Bud Dwyer, the guy that you and I've talked about, though. Like, everybody stand back. But it is about that. It is about that gentleman. I found that to be weird that they would print that this morning as I was looking through music news. That it's weird what news is now. Like, there's so much, the news cycle is so quick and people jump on stories so fast that people, in order to be interesting, are having to go backwards and find old stories and reprint them with like updates to give us something to read.
I think it's just like bots and like software and AI are doing that now, where it's just there's a thing in podcasting where we get a bunch of solicitor emails from companies that will take little clips of your podcast and then put it out.
Yeah.
But they basically have AI do it in a certain, and I'm guessing it just cuts up pieces of your YouTube content and for you to release, but they can do it so fast. And the whole, I guess, strategy behind it is if you just put out as many as possible. Maybe like the more you put out, the more likelihood one will actually get some traction.
Yeah.
So it's essentially
So it's like we buy ugly houses signs.
just dumping an insane amount of clips and garbage out on the social media.
Digital trash.
So that
You're trolling with digital trash? Is that kind of it?
But I guess you would need the program to do it on social as well, because a human has to manually release it on social media, right? Bots don't do that
Okay,
yet.
it depends on if you give access to bots to your. I mean, there are APIs and systems where I can give the permissions to
a program
to a bot,
and then it would just dump out stuff.
Yeah, a human doesn't have to do anything anymore.
But then there's too much, right? Whereas, like, if someone is following you and then just so much stuff, they'd probably unfollow you.
That's
right?
what I think. I mean, we even get, like, I put out YouTube videos as we get them. I'm very traditional. It's like when we get a YouTube video and it's finished, if Melissa has it, she'll just put it into the YouTube and we put it out.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people, like, we've even had people that write me and be like, you released 3 videos today, too many alerts. I'm done with you guys. And I'm like, well, shit, I'm just trying to give you content, man. It's your alerts, or you control your alerts. I mean, you're getting mad at me because I'm giving you 3 videos, like 1 a day, and schedule them in the mornings. That's when I like my alerts. Some people are like that.
Yeah.
So if you go and, like, today, and I've had this conversation with SJ, I've had this conversation with Melissa. You go in, and then Melissa delivers, like, 10 videos to us that are really funny, and I put them all out, and then people are like, 10 videos? Fuck you, Dan. Too much. It's like, well, okay, I'm just trying to do something for you, man. I'm trying to give you some content.
Yeah, so there is a balance. If you did 100 a day, but I wonder, even if your loyal listeners unsubscribe because they're like, there's like too much, that if you get viral videos by just putting out so much that statistically one's gonna hit more,
I think viral doesn't mean anything anymore because like if you get
because the loyal listeners are the value.
They're the ones. Yeah. Like you just go to
who gives a shit if we have 10,000 views on a thing if no one
if you have 50 people that are powerful, they're way more valuable than one. Yeah, I mean it's now more than ever. Because I see like even at like Trombone Teddy's or something like that, like nobody knows that. I mean that's nothing, and it was been taught. It's garbage. It's a dumb digital piece of garbage that bounces around the internet.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter at all. Oh, did you talk to Tony? Is he good?
Yeah, he's on. He was on Corinne 10 minutes ago, so he should be here in a minute.
Hope he's not.
We could do one segment and then just
Let's do it.
one.
Let's do it.
Because we got to do 420s for ACT today.
Gotcha. All right, buddy. Here we go. Check. Hey. Give me a level, please. All right.
Hello. Check.
Do you like to start?
Yeah.
Here we go. And 3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube. Come hang out with us. Just search at Tom and Dan Live. Tons of great videos on there, and we've been doing these 4K replays of the show with our brand new cameras. So if you'd like to catch up with the show, maybe there's something that you heard but you want to see it, you can go to YouTube and like and subscribe and find all of our content on there, putting a lot of time and effort into the video component of the show. So go check it out. We think you'll like it.
We've partnered with Just Call Mo for the Just Call Mo Cimarron Skateway Family Skateathon happening this Saturday, July 12th.
Yes, sir.
You have to register to guarantee that you'll have a spot. I know that I think as of this morning, we're close to around 1,000 people that are registered. So
that's a lot of skates.
Go to justcallmo.com/skate. Fill out the insurance, well, not insurance form, but
it's a waiver. Yeah, it's a waiver.
And just so you don't have to wait, because Mo did rent it out for 2 hours from 5 to 7. So get there a little bit early.
And it's a hard 2. Like if you're still skating at the 159 mark, it's taser time. We'll tase you. You'll crap your pants. We'll drag you out of there. We'll drag you off like that Asian doctor on the plane that bloodied his nose and was crying. Still a favorite video of mine. I will go and I will watch Asian doctor. Type in Asian doctor bloody nose pulled off plane crying. That's how I start my mornings.
Tony Moonjet's here. How you doing, Tony?
Hey, what's going on, Darty? Hey. A little too much for you? Is it a little too much for you? Me and Tony,
No, it's fine.
me and Tony are spicy Latins.
Yeah,
You get
yeah.
us around each other, we start
I'm a
partying.
little late. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I
You're
left
fine.
with plenty of time, and I hit every single red light.
You're fine.
Unreal.
I think the lights, I've been talking to my wife about the lights in Orlando are not out. Let's put it out there. Let's see if we can get somebody to call in and help us out. I know nobody listens to this, but let's try. They still do those by hand, right? The lights, they still got a guy that sees the flow and he's checking the cameras and sees the flow of traffic, and they go in and they adjust it, because right now all of Lakemont is messed up, all of Corinne is messed up, all the lights are messed up. They're way longer than they need to be.
They are.
They're way long, and you just sit there and you sit there and you sit there and you sit there, and they do. It's like, isn't there supposed to be a man or woman that is adjusting that real time?
I would assume, I have no idea, that a computer program does it based on the flow of traffic or
Right.
whatever. There's some sort of software that knows the flow of traffic and sets the lights.
Because lights have sensors on the ground, like those rectangle lines that you see right when you get to a traffic light. I thought those were sensors, and my guess would be all that information gets put into a computer, and then it decides.
And then there's computer programs.
See, nobody
that
knows. We got someone in the chat room saying, I thought it was a timer based on the time of day. Then we got someone saying, well, the software's broken. Then someone saying it's totally all automated. Somebody saying it's all AI. Well, what is it?
Well, I like the idea.
Because it's broken. It's taking too long.
I like the idea that is one person per light, just sitting there looking at you, changing the.
Well,
back when jobs had value. One man per light.
One little person inside the little.
If I know
that's
the
going to be quality lights. I'll tell you that right now.
If I know the government, it's the cheapest, most efficient thing possible.
So it's just AI. I mean, it's probably just an AI computer program that's all messed up.
Yeah. It's probably some old, antiquated. Someone's calling in. Maybe they know.
Okay. All right. Let's see what we got here. Thanks for calling A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. Who's this?
Yo, what's up, it's Clark?
Clark, it's Clark the Tugman. Hey, it's I forgot to tell you guys, it's Tugboat Monday, and Clark put in the chat room.
Sorry.
He put in the chat room. He's like, "Hey, can I call in about this Mexican tugboat?" And I didn't give him an answer, and he just bullied his way onto the show. So fine, you're here now. You called. All right.
I've been calling Mexican tugboat before.
Elbows out. Elbows out, sir.
Are you talking about the Mexican Navy ship that ran?
No, I was gonna. You just mentioned the red light thing, and I've been through that situation, so I'd like to talk about that.
Oh, okay.
Or the Mexican Navy. I don't care.
So so our resident tugboat captain Clark is also well versed on red lights and the timing of such.
Yeah, well, I used to live in a neighborhood that had a middle school in it, and there was a light that they created. And they created it on, so the weight sensor was based on buses and things like that. So everything's very automated nowadays. So there's a weight sensor on most every light that you ever go through. And I called them and told them my truck, which is a big truck, not like a small truck or anything, never tripped the sensor for the light that left out of my neighborhood. So I ran red lights for probably 3 months.
So it just wasn't heavy enough?
Yeah, no, so the dumbass, sorry.
You're okay with dumbass.
The
that's
person, the person that set it up on the buses when they were leaving the neighborhood. And I called them and told them I can't get the thing to switch. And it's over in Cape Canaveral, so it's not too far away.
Yeah.
But they had to reset the weight sensor on
to recalibrate the whole
light.
thing so normal traffic can get through the light.
It should be done
Correct.
by some sort of better technology, though, right?
Yeah. I mean, what do they got to go out there and physically recalibrate it?
Yes. They go out there, they sit there for hours, and they watch cars go through, and if it doesn't change, they adjust the settings. There's
Hold
actually
on.
a
I mean, that's how
box
my
next-
dad used to, shim a door or something. He's like, just walk. Oh, okay, it's good enough. All right, let's get out of here.
You would think nowadays they'd all be connected via some sort of internet, and then make the whole city work as efficiently as possible at every light.
Yeah, because
Well,
what's
it's
happening in the other part of the...
I don't think that's true. The infrastructure wasn't set up to do that. All right, Clark. How's that storm you
No
rolled
worries,
through?
that's all.
Yeah. How's
it sucked.
what you tugging today?
Today I am tugging lumber back up to New Jersey. I'm in North Carolina currently.
Okay. How long is it going to take you to get there?
14. I got 14 minutes till I leave. I'll be there tonight. Hopefully, probably around 2 a.m., 3 a.m., something like that.
My God, tugging life is a slow life.
Yeah, but you're out in a boat. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty good, but it's the world's slowest boat. It's a real slow boat.
Yeah. But you still see some.
So slow you don't even know you're on a boat.
Yeah, you get the sea air. You see some dolphins.
You get the
jumping
call
around.
of the sirens. You ever get a manatee calling to you because you're delirious and you want to go poke its blowhole?
Every once in a while, if I'm doing night shift,
Yep.
towards the end of it,
You're allowed. Sailor's law.
little
You're
funky.
allowed to lay with manatee.
Yeah. And you can do it while you're driving a tugboat. That's easy.
Yeah. All
It's
right,
a
get
lot
out of
to-
here. Yeah, I could do that too.
All right, let's.
Easiest boat to masturbate? I think we can all agree, tugboat. These
I mean,
jokes
it's in the
write
name.
It is. They write themselves.
So let's do some dump 'em out Monday.
All right, do
where
I
we're
play
gonna-
the song?
Yeah.
All right, hold on. I don't even know if I still have it on here.
We're just gonna rock it through some topics we wrote down.
I may have taken it off
No,
here.
it's fine.
Yeah, I took it off because I didn't think we were going to do it ever again. I'll have to find that. Holy crap, I'm sorry.
Let's start with
Let's do a cappella.
the Sanford fireworks show that went off because of some lightning. Did you hear about this, Tony?
I did not.
So in Lake Monroe, they do a fireworks show. I think every 4th of July, and this 4th of July, lightning strike actually set off the entire fireworks show. Hours
No
like around
way.
4 o'clock in the afternoon. The storm
Here,
went
you want
through.
to see a little bit? Here's a little bit from...
And essentially, it did that move where we've seen it happen before, where all the fireworks go off at once, which is, you would think it would be awesome, but it's never good because they're
too much smoke. It's the smoke
Yes,
that ruins
the
it.
smoke clouds the
Yeah.
actual display, and then so you would think, hey, let's set all these off at once. It would be triple awesome.
I mean, it'd be great if you have something to do afterwards. You know? Okay, I can leave early.
Right.
But it doesn't actually, like, the display of it's not good. It's all just clumped in one smoke ball with kind of fire in between.
And then the smoke, it's like the smoke starts to encompass, and then then you just see orange through the smoke. Which
Yes, yeah,
really
yeah,
just
yeah,
looks
yeah.
like war, which not that good.
yeah.
So here, let's a little bit from this is from Sanford here.
Displaying in the sky went up in smoke in Sanford just before sundown. Police say a lightning strike set off the majority of the city's fireworks as they got ready for the festivities at Fort Mellon Park. Lightning struck Sanford's marina area where the fireworks were being stored. The fire also destroyed the control panel used to sequence tonight's show.
Gus, it's nice to know you keep your boat near where they keep the fireworks. Yeah, classy. That's very classy.
I'm across the lake in the boat tree. I'm not
Very
here.
classy. Right next to Saddam's Revenge is your boat. Your boat. Bin Laden from the sky. Saddam's Revenge, and get her done. And your boat.
I've contemplated Sanford Marina. It's it's a nicer marina.
Is it?
Yeah, they priced me out. I gotta go across.
Oh, it's got to be cheaper now, right? That's some damage done to the property.
I think
No,
they got a video here. Hold
Spoke
on.
with a woman who saw it all unfold.
Let's see. Oh, here.
I saw the lightning come down, and then there was a loud boom and about 10 seconds long of just fireworks.
That sounds
so
awesome.
literally from here to the Civic Center, which is not very far, it was about that distance, and the ground shook, and it was pretty frightening.
Okay, I didn't know they had a lady they talked to. Like, I just knew that they had confirmed with the mayor that it hit a palm tree near the fireworks and
So
had
now
exploded.
that was the first eyewitness that I saw because
Yeah.
I started researching this because I was like, man, what are the chances of a lightning strike being close enough to then set off all the fireworks? And I saw an interview with the guy that put on the display, and he said basically
Bill.
it's a low voltage wires that basically put the show together. Like they have a control panel and then wiring, and then they basically daisy chain all the fireworks so they go off when they're planned, as a show. So he said like any sort of electrical impulse into the system because it's so low voltage will set them all off.
I mean, even static electricity from your socks can set these things off.
But
man.
I
You could blow on them with dragon's breath. man.
I said to myself, if I was the fireworks guy, I could put myself in the mind of a fireworks.
I know you can. Yeah.
If I was there and one of my employees, because I'm 1099, all my employees.
One of your random homeless helpers. A homeless helper.
Well, they'll work for the cheapest.
Yeah, they will.
And say they accidentally, cross some wires and set off all the fireworks early, and the city of Sanford paid me $25,000 for this fireworks display.
Yeah.
I'm gonna claim that a bolt of lightning did it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm never gonna say that one of my pain bill employees did it, right?
No, I mean, even if I'm there on site when it happens, I'm gonna jump in the water and go bolt of lightning. I'm just gonna scream it. Yeah, whatever it takes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say there was my accident because then I'm on the hook. I have to pay the money back, and all the fireworks already went off.
I got this hobo. He's hide all your empties. Hide your empties.
But since there was, I guess multiple eyewitnesses.
Lightning be crazy.
Yeah.
Like they've been hitting, wasn't it like 12 people this year so far have been hit by lightning?
Well, we had a tourist die.
And up at the beach. Yeah,
really sad. That guy was down from, I think he was down from Colorado. He passed away. We were talking about that. I have some family members that are living in Colorado now, and they were like, man, we knew of a Colorado visitor that came to the beach and got struck by lightning in ankle deep water. I'm like, yeah, man. I mean, I guess that's a thing. I remember you and I having our great debate about like we're swimming in the St. John's and lightning's popping off. We're fine. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'll rethink that.
Well, it's again, it's we know the statistics. It's insanely rare.
But I think it's changing because those are numbers
That's the thing. Tom doesn't think
normal.
Statistics really change. It's
you
more
just hear
about
about
you just hear about it more.
Yeah. If you hear about all the people, there's millions of people on Florida beaches. 2 get struck. It's still
now. Could there be
1
more
in
storms?
5 million.
Could there be more lightning?
Possibly.
Sure. Yeah, there could be. We'd have to talk to like Weather Mike or somebody.
Although you being the highest point around you, like at a beach or something, like if there's nothing, no other buildings to attract, because lightning is going to hit the highest point. And then if a beach is flat,
not me, buddy. I'm the lowest point. I'm
always you're safe.
Every place I go, lowest point.
That's why
safe from lightning, Dan Dennis.
It's sketchy to be in a lightning storm on a boat because you're out in the middle of the open water. It's like you're the highest point.
I live next to a big lake, and we get lots and lots of strikes to the point where it's hit my house and burned my TV and my PlayStation one time.
Yeah, I remember I got struck years ago, and I lost my air conditioner, Xbox, computer, refrigerator. Yeah, we lost everything. Like we had a really old house. Nothing in there was wired correctly.
My next door neighbor, they got hit, and they lost their AC, their refrigerator, and she was telling me this as she was cutting my hair. She's the person that cuts my hair. That 2 days later, my house gets hit, and that's when I lost my TV and my PlayStation.
Damn.
Let's move on to the next subject.
Yes, sir. Please.
Let's talk about the Savannah Bananas. And
dude, over the weekend, I mean, did you watch that at Fenway?
Did they get hit by lightning too?
No. They basically sold out Fenway Park.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
And it was just wild. They had All-American Rejects are setting up. They're playing on the field. They had. It was on YouTube. Me and Maisie are watching it on YouTube. It was as good as like watching wrestling or anything else. The coverage is phenomenal.
The whole Banana Ball League goes live on YouTube, and you can watch the games on YouTube. Of course, the Savannah Bananas get the better experience. They have better cameras. I don't know.
I kind of like these firefighters. The firefighter team is cool.
Oh, is that the opposing team now?
There's a whole league.
In new
it's more than one. It's like I think like 6 or.
It
something
used to be just
teams.
like the Bananas and then the Party Animals. Now it's the Bananas, the Party Animals, and then we have like the firefighters or the back.
They're mixing in other teams. Yeah,
it's a league now. I think it's called Banana Ball.
All right, but it's always Savannah Bananas playing is when you are. Or now
no. There are games happening at once. Like sometimes I will be watching the fireman on YouTube, and then at the same time on a different channel.
Okay, there's
the Bananas
4.
Are playing.
Bananas, Party Animals, firefighters, and the Texas Tailgaters.
Yeah, that's right. There we go. The Tailgaters.
Tailgaters. That's a cool name.
So
that's the best name.
Now they're airing it on YouTube, and which a little bit surprised because the fact that you had to get tickets to go to a game was like, a little bit special because, they had a lot of the stuff on social media, but now that they're airing, but I guess it's just more marketing and more people want to come see it live.
It's not just YouTube anymore. I think they're on Disney Plus now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to have to do a little more research on this.
So what, I said this before, but the fact that this owner, and we've talked to Young Professor, who's a listener who basically does, on-field promotions for them.
Oh, really?
And
some tickets?
He's been coming in. Yeah, well, Daniel went.
Yeah, they got me seats. Yeah, he got me seats, and Samantha some seats too. We went and saw him in Jacksonville. Very, very good. Yeah, right before they blew up.
He was coming in 5-6 years ago promoting it back when they were building,
Yeah.
And the fact that the owner is not selling, because for sure he's gotten insane offers from big corporations, like I'm sure, what's the one that owns the monster truck? Live Nation. I'm sure Live Nation tried to buy them. You know what I'm saying? Because
I'm sure everybody's approached them.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
because a big corporation's like, man, this is, I can make an insane amount
easy
of
money almost.
But the owner is holding fast and wants, he wants to do it his way.
Yeah, I mean, every
create a cool thing.
Like every article you see or every interview with him, it'll be like him. He's the guy that wears like the little yellow bowler's hat and is in the yellow tuxedo. And when you see him, he's like, every headline is, "I'll never sell." Like that's what they start with.
Yeah.
Which is really impressive that he always starts with like, "I'll never sell. This is my league." Now, Tony was right. You can watch them. They have a Roku Sports channel. You can watch them on there. The Fenway Park thing was live on there. I'm sure it'll be all over YouTube replayed. You could have watched it on ESPN, ESPN2, Disney Plus, and ESPN Plus. Also, there's going to be other games that we're going to be able to see, and this goes back to what Tony was saying about the firefighters playing the Texas Tailgaters or the Party Animals. Those three, because they're not the Bananas, they are actually going to be carried when they play each other on Bally Sports Live. So they almost get their own deal. The other three teams, because they're not Bananas, you can watch those games if you wanted to follow along. Because I know a lot of kids like the Party Animals. They're kind of the buff bad guys. They oil the muscles up and they flex and stuff. Yeah, so that's neat. They've got
and these guys are like former MLB players and I believe college players that never made it to the main.
When do we turn on it? Right? When do we turn on it? Let's try and guess that. So that's way more fun.
I was actually
it's
going to
way
bring
more
that up.
fun.
So
it's way more fun to crap on things.
Well, okay, we all know history repeats itself, right? So this Harlem Globetrotters was the hottest, biggest. In
the 70s and 80s, my dad went multiple times. My dad loved the Harlem Globetrotters. Frick, I almost cursed. He loved funny sports.
But essentially,
comedy sports. Oh man,
your dad would be a banana head for sure.
He'd love it. Ice cold beer, and you're watching the comedy sports.
So essentially, same thing, right? You have basketball, then you're taking the best,
maybe even more dynamic.
Yeah, you're taking like the most interesting parts and the most entertaining parts of basketball, putting it all in one show, Globetrotters, and then it's all planned out. It's kind of like wrestling, and then they put on a show. Same thing with the Savannah Bananas. And they ran hot. What caused them to die out? Because eventually they were at the height of popularity, and then they've slowly fizzled out. Did they get bought and then they?
I can give you my opinion. Haven't seen a fair enough of my fair share of games recently on YouTube, and it's something that one of my best friends and I agreed on. Some of the bits are getting repetitive. They do a lot of the same bits, like have a guy on stilts at the bat. That kind of thing. Like some of the celebrations are the same.
Oh, man.
So
are you ChatGPT? Because you're saying exactly what they said about the downfall of the Harlem.
This is my personal opinion.
Yeah,
I enjoy it. I watch plenty of it, but I have noticed that they already did that. How many times are they gonna get away with doing the same thing?
Well, there's a lot of variations, but I guess you run out of like. But
so
do you? Yeah, I mean, you could concept that they have a lot of money. So with a lot of money, you could hire a lot of creative people to come up with, I'm sure there's a brainstorming room.
But do we get exhausted of that? Look, I'm pro Bananas. I just want to let the record reflect. I love the product. I think it's great. Does our brain get tired of the comedy aspect of it? Because it just seems like there will always be an end point. And you'll get to the end and you'll be like, can we just play baseball?
Right.
Why is that,
is
though?
almost-
I want to question that. I'm not saying that.
It's almost like so ridiculous, right? And I mean that in a great way.
Yeah.
Right? I love it. That it becomes the question arises like, how far can you take this ridiculousness before it stops being a
And then
baseball
you're like,
game?
why are we doing this?
Yeah, exactly. And then people stop going for the baseball.
It's a balance.
Because the
It is
baseball
a
is actually
balance.
good. The baseball
Yeah,
is
they're good baseball players, but it.
Well,
I
I'd
don't
say
know,
they're
but
good baseball players. I don't know if you can say you're gonna get some pushback on it. Is it good baseball? That's where you're gonna get the
I mean,
pushback.
it's entertaining.
Yeah,
baseball,
you can't
know.
debate that. You cannot debate its entertaining quality.
But going back to the Harlem Globetrotters, what caused them to fall out of favor and become not as popular? Because at the height when they were on Gilligan's Island,
it's saying here that
I mean, they
their
still
lean.
play.
ChatGPT is saying that their lean into comedy. It says that when they started, they originally played serious competitive basketball and beat NBA teams, which is true. That was the original bit. Over time, they leaned into clowning and showboating, which made them less respected by the, quote, real basketball players. And it's like the more they leaned into the clowning, the confetti, fake water bucket, stilts, the things that Tony's talking about, It's like people were like, we've
and also
seen
at the
this.
time when they were in their height, they had cartoons, they had
Cereal,
there was just
Saturday morning
more-
special,
yeah.
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, I was gonna say
They
they
had
were
a-
part of like the
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo universe.
But it says here, lack of evolution is the number one thing, and you were saying that. They're like, the act stayed largely the same. Confetti, ball spinning, antics. It didn't evolve fast enough with modern sports culture, and that's why it died.
So I wonder, but for sure the Savannah Bananas organization and the how big it's gotten are looking at the Harlem Globetrotters as like, hey, let's not let this happen.
But my
to us,
argument
like,
is you may not be able to stop it.
They've gotten big. By the way,
Yeah.
Savannah Bananas have gotten bigger than the Harlem Globetrotters
I believe that.
because
yeah.
of the amount of tickets being sold. I mean, they're about to do the Raymond James like NFL stadiums
Yeah.
now.
Oh, wow.
Like we're talking
And they'll go-
70,000 seat stadiums.
I see people walking around with banana.
Oh, yeah.
It's
shirts and-
gigantic.
But
Yeah.
I do think it will. I don't know why I think this, but I do think no matter what, when you're doing something that is traditionally one way and you're turning it on its ear and like not mocking it, but you're making it less serious, like I think it will run out. I think it will run out. I think it will run its
Yeah.
course.
Well,
I think those type of vehicles always do, and I don't know why.
But I guess running its course could be a whole lifetime of a business, especially if this owner doesn't sell. Like, this could be popular for another 15 years, and then this guy's been doing it for 25 years. Like when
But you
since
don't
he
see
started,
the
so then it's
Fenway,
like,
Wrigley Field. You don't see that. Like I can't see, and this is just my opinion. I can't see them in like 10 years from now. They're coming back around, and it's like they're doing Fenway, and it's just as many people.
No,
in
yeah.
there. I just can't see it.
It happens with anything. I mean, at one point, Dairy Queen was the biggest fast food chain in the world, and then suddenly phased out, to where you can barely see one.
I'm
Everything's
glad you
done-
mentioned a little love for Dairy Queen. We're
Everything
a Dairy
has-
Queen family.
everything does have a life and death, and I guess people just get tired, but
Like the
What I
Globetrotters
think-
are still around.
So what I think
they are, but they never,
Right.
They never got to the.
They'll never come back. That's my point.
Yeah.
Is that Savannah Bananas got to go
But
as big
see-
as humanly possible? They have to because I think these type of things have I think they have a shelf life.
But things like the Savannah Bananas, my spike interest into the world throttles. Why am I saying the world treasures?
Trundle.
Are you
world
having a
truffles.
tasm tursm? Are you doing a DD
Yeah.
mega doo doo? What are you doing over there? A tasm
But anyway,
tursm?
my point is that maybe people getting interested in entertainment sports might spike their interest in going to see a basketball funny game. I can't say world.
Globetrotters. Globetrotters.
Yeah. Oh, what I wanted to say though, I think it's so what I think it's a good idea. Stop laughing.
I'm sorry. I'm stopping.
What I think is a good idea is that the Banana Ball League grows, right? You can't make it too big. You can have a 16-team league, but keeping it small to give other people opportunity to go watch the games is important. Because before, when it was just the Bananas and they were playing whoever, you couldn't buy tickets. You could only see them at the one game they're playing, whether it's in Savannah, whether it's in Miami. Now you have more options. But you can't get out of control to where you're gonna pretend you're gonna make an entertainment baseball league out of 16 teams, and I think that will kill it real quick. You should probably keep it like 8 teams, and make sure that the baseball is quality.
Yeah, I think it's more delicate than we think. I think it's killing it right now, but I think Tony's right.
Once the demand grows, you're like, build more, like more teams, more. We can never have enough, and then you know what I'm saying. But then
and it's funny to scream that while you're wearing a yellow bowler's hat. You know, that's what makes it funny.
And then it reaches a pinnacle and stuff. But what's interesting though is because this is privately owned by one guy,
he can keep it going, which is important.
He could pivot faster.
He probably already knows.
You with the corporation, you got a board, and you got too many people involved. It's slow moving, so like maybe this guy can pivot fast enough to maintain its relevance.
I think he already knows. Maybe he's already planning. The guy's probably a genius. He's already planning for it. Like, look, I'm going to make this as big as I can. Never selling. I'm keeping it. And then when we actually start falling back down, it'll be great. No, I think he'll hold on to it and just be like, we'll be fine. We'll be just fine.
What are these sock shoes that you told me about?
Okay, this is the new biggest thing in the world. Are you guys getting inundated? I'm calling it now. Yeah, 2025, 2026 is the years of where we go ultra casual and people start wearing, and I'm getting tons of commercials for these. They're Kevlar on the bottom, and then it's like a booty sock, and that's your new shoe. It's the new shoe that everybody's going to wear, sock shoes. Athletes are wearing sock shoes. People on the beach so they don't burn their feet, sock shoes. People at the office, sock shoes. It's just a sock. It's like a neoprene sock.
This is what like Kanye West was selling?
Yes, like, and everybody.
Scuba divers.
No, but these are, and they're everywhere.
Neoprene boots.
I get so many different sock shoe. There's 100 different sock shoe companies that are like, sock shoes, Daniel, you need sock shoes.
I have not seen any of that.
All sock shoes. You're going to get them now because of me screaming at your phone right now.
Is comfort the main driver of this, or what is it?
I think that's part of it with the younger generations. I think that
it looks goofy though.
They wear a lot of, and I'm not complaining. So just put your old man back in your pocket. Like I see a lot of young people that are stylish wearing what would appear to be lounge pants and slides.
So this sounds to me like toe shoes.
This is crazier.
But this is like I know, but I'm saying like this is like the way of saying like you
the
can
Vibram 5 fingers.
You can feel the ground on your bare feet, but with some layer of protection. And I don't think people fall for that.
It doesn't seem comfortable.
It doesn't. But I'm telling you, and it's not us you got to worry about. It's not for us. You start checking your kids. They're going to be coming home in sock shoes, and you got to stop it. You got to put your foot down. You can't let. I mean, your son's already dabbled in sock shoes, has he not? I've seen those Filas
Are they
he
called
had on.
sock shoes?
He had Filas, and they had a built-in long scuba sock. I've seen the future.
They were just high-top Filas. That's old school.
But I thought they had the stretchy part.
They're the high top part.
I'm telling you, scuba boots. It's coming. It's coming for all of us because the kids like the comfort. Like when Maisie wears, what does she wear? She wears what are those things? Uggs. She's wearing Uggs.
Yeah.
I never wanted to have a child wearing Uggs. Yeah, but I never thought I'd have a child that wears Uggs. Uggs are sloppy.
Yeah. Well,
as sloppy as my hair and beard.
If everything just is about comfort,
scuba shoes, man, I'm telling you.
No, I feel the opposite way. I feel like everything is about trend. You can sell anything to anybody, whether it's comfortable or not, and they'll wear it regardless.
Like remember when those jumbo Croc boots came out, the red ones? They're humongous. They were just humongous red Croc boots. I wanted a pair of them because I'm a sucker for these type of I'm such a mark. And I was like, I'll get those and wear them on the show, and everybody will laugh at me. And do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but that's a novelty.
Yeah, but
goofy.
It's going along with what Tony's saying. It's like people see there's like, oh, that's style.
Because at the same time, you're telling me that like people are gonna wear these sock shoes, but
they already are
currently. Like those 2000, like early 2000, like skateboard shoes that were giant.
The poofies.
Those are in right now. The kids are getting like the glove.
Etnies.
Yeah, the glove.
I love a big
shoes.
A big DC.
Yeah. Big thick tongue etnie.
Yeah. You didn't even lace it. You just stuck your foot down in it, and the tongue held your foot in place.
Right. Those are hot right now.
The tongue was 4 inches thick of padding. Those things are very cushy.
They had pockets in the tongue, so you can hide your
weed.
Stash.
Yeah. You put your drugs down in there.
So I played not really a board game, but a game with my friends over the 4th of July weekend, and I hate games.
Some call it Amtrak. We call it the train.
So I'm, board games and never been a fan. I'm a fan with my sons, but with like other adults, like getting together and playing board games. They made fun of it.
We've known each other 20 years. I'll just keep saying that. You've only played one game with me, and it was Cards Against Humanity. That's it.
And this is similar to Cards Against Humanity, but it's a music-based game called Hitster. All right, have you ever heard of this? So
I don't like the name, but I'm willing to listen.
So, and it was fun, and like all the adults, we were hanging out at John's house over 4th of July weekend, and Fernando and Pudge and Turkey Leg all came and staying over John's, or the Wizard. And so we were, the kids were playing in one room, and the adults were drinking, and we were playing this game.
God, this is exactly how I grew up, dude. What you're doing is me in the room with my friends or my god sisters playing, and my parents were playing cards in the other room drinking. That's exactly how I grew up.
Yeah.
So essentially, it goes through Spotify, and each card has a QR code on the back, and so you can't see it. And then you use your phone as long as you have a Spotify account. And then it scans the card and it plays a song. So everybody starts with the card in a year, right? So then when the song plays, whoever's turn it is has to take the card and then put it before or after whatever year you start with, right? And building a timeline, right? And then, so that's all it is. And then it goes until you get 10 years in a row.
So are you playing individually?
Yeah, against everybody else. The first person.
So it's kind of like a
10.
trivia, but it's like a
sort of. The song plays, and you just have to guess, or is it before or after, and then insert it into your timeline of years. And then sometimes it gets hard because it's like you have a 2000, 2005, and then you're like, man, I know this is in the early 2000s.
But you can't get it accurate.
Yeah. So you have to fit it in, and then if you get 10 on your timeline, you win. And
Andrea says I'd be good at this game. She's in our Twitch chat room. I don't think so. I'm not good with dates. I'm good with like the title and the name of the song. Normally, when you'll
know legit. I won with me and Crystal, and almost won the first time. Nice. And I don't even listen to music. Nice. Yeah. But because of this show, I was able to imagine when songs are popular and then put it in the timeline of my career. Because you were working
sort of in the industry and you would have heard it.
2004. Yeah, and even when I started in radio, I heard songs. I'm like, oh, I know this is from the 90s, this is 70s, 60s,
Yeah.
Like we interviewed Daryl Hall.
How deep do they go? That would be one of my questions. Like when you go like.
So it starts in the 50s. It goes 55 to 2024.
Whoa.
And that's 55 was the oldest song that came out.
Damn, they're not messing around.
Maybe early 50s.
And
was like
do they
the
give
Big
the
Bopper
song? Like, do they, will it get repetitive? What I mean is if I went through, because I'm good at this, if I went through that deck the next time we play, would I know?
So you buy new packs, and that's where they get you. It's just like Cards Against Humanity.
I'd be able to memorize it. I know I would.
Because as soon as and it starts off with like 200 songs, so then once you go through that, you buy new packs. Because you don't want to go through the ones you've already heard.
Do you listen to the whole song? Or
no, as long as it takes you, as long as you want, while it's your time to place it on your timeline. Then the songs are all popular hits for the most part. So everybody's drunk singing along, and then the person puts it, and then you could challenge them if you think it's in the wrong place. You get a couple Anyway, no one challenged. Everybody's
Can you?
It was a fun game.
Can you create your own?
You would need the QR code.
Well, no, why couldn't I
You could just do it yourself, I guess. I'm guessing
it'd be a lot of work.
The extra packs of cards are pretty cheap. Like you buy them on Amazon or whatever. But you could definitely do this yourself, essentially.
If you had a lot of time.
I'm proud of you, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, the chat room is too. They're like, he said the word fun.
I mean, out of that group, you are the least musical.
Yeah. But it's what was interesting.
And he led with this. Like, this was like one of the first things he said to me this morning. He's like, I played this crazy game. I'm like, oh, dude, I want to hear about it.
But I didn't know when, for sure, I was like, oh, yeah, this song came out in 1995. Part of it was just me figuring out, okay, I know this came out early 2000s. And then I'll look pre or post the Super Bowl, Janet Jackson.
Okay, so you use some time markers.
I use time markers based on my career in radio and podcast to figure out, okay, this is before 2004 when I started radio, or after, or this is before the podcast started.
Any really obscure songs that everybody was like, "Oh, I don't know that song."
There would be some that at least one person would know, but the person that was guessing didn't know. But you just use context clues to figure out, okay, this was in the 90s era or 70s or 80s. You could tell when something sounded like disco. if it's a song you didn't know, but it's like, okay, this is disco sounding, so I'm gonna go post 75.
So you don't get any clues like who the artist is.
No,
or you
it
get
just
nothing. It's
plays
just
the
the
song.
song.
So
Okay.
when it's your turn, the person scans the QR code, and the song starts playing, and then you get the card and the top of the QR, and you put it in your timeline, and then you flip it over, and then if you get it wrong, then you have to put the card back in the deck, and then the first person at 10. Wins.
That's
or
cool.
whatever.
I like that. I have to
It
check
was
that
a cool
out.
song.
Yeah.
It was a cool game.
How many
That
different
name-
packs have you seen, or did he have more than one, or just the one standard?
That'd be cool, like if there was like a punk pack or like a country pack or like
They
kinda
sell
things
them like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. They sell them genre specific
Smart.
and stuff. But just like Cards Against Humanity, they realized, we can continue to sell these packs of cards and different things, and that's where you make the
Exploding
money.
Kittens is another one.
Yeah.
Another
Yeah.
game where they sell a lot of these like
And it's cheap.
packs.
Like you're printing cardboard cards with a QR code. It's like, cost you pennies, and you're selling it for $9.99 or
I'm
whatever.
honestly surprised that Spotify doesn't want to cut.
Well, the game works. It could be owned by some subsidiary of Spotify.
Because if you're using a QR code to access their...
There has to be some sort of licensing deal.
right? Doesn't that seem weird?
There has to be.
And so you don't need Spotify Premium, but it says it recommends it, so you don't get commercials or whatever.
So do you use one phone, or do everybody uses their own phone?
No, we use one phone for everything.
Because it's
to
hooked
make it
up to
easier.
like the Bluetooth speaker.
Yes,
or
yeah,
something.
You gotta have it on the
Cool.
Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
cool.
cool, man. I like this.
Yeah.
So it's fun. How did it feel? And I'm not joking around. Was it weird for you to find a game that normally? Did you go into it at first being like, oh, good, and then you're like, oh, I kind of like this because this is. When did you see yourself?
Everybody
shift?
was like mad that I was good at. They
Yes.
were every
Well,
time I get it
hold on,
right.
pause real
Everybody
quick.
was like, "Oh!" I'm like, "Why are you mad at me?"
Who won Cards Against Humanity?
What?
You won it. You dominated in that. You also the highest I've ever seen you at my house. You remember that? Like somebody crushed cards. He hit a whole stack of points. Like he destroyed us in it.
Well,
so you're really good at party games. You just hate them, or
No. I like the gaming aspect. If there's an actual strategy to
You like
it.
the competition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I just like to figure out the strategy. So as long as there's strategy, I don't like random games where you just roll a dice and then there's no strategy.
And,
to it.
and
if
it-
there's a strategy to it, I like
And
enjoy it.
if there's a little bit of money there on the side, then
yeah.
it's a
I'm
little,
surprised. Were you playing strip?
yeah. I suggested it.
You should have said like, "What any of you ladies, you get the card wrong. You have to take off an article of clothing."
I was mentioning that to my friends because now, the Wizard has babies. Fernando's got babies.
You know what that
and,
means? Big ones.
So,
Those babies need milk.
and I'm like, well, when we all hang out in the future, when all our kids are grown, I mean, this is
But you
turning
don't
into
want them
strip.
then because they'll all be fat and gross.
Well,
that's all you can get.
That's when you do it.
No, you
You're
get them
playing
now
like,
while they're tight.
Well,
You're
no,
playing
but no one will do it because the kids are in the other room.
You're playing like 7 minutes in paradise.
Nah, you do it quick. You know,
Yeah.
you got to get in the pool. Keep everything below the water level. The kids can't see.
Anyway,
Well, I'm glad you played a game, man. That's pretty damn cool. That's awesome. I remember playing the big ones for me as a young man, like watching my parents play. Like they played real card games.
Jim Rummy and poker
Yeah,
and stuff.
they would play like poker. But then the one game that really came around that would be like considered a Cards Against Humanity. I remember, this is how old I am. I remember when this happened, was Uno. I can remember the shift of like my godparents and my mom and dad and my godsisters all playing, like they'd be playing poker or whatever. And then I remember the shift one day, it became Uno.
Yeah.
And it was, and they're screaming and yelling, and it was like, because it was unlike some, and then they taught us how to play Uno, and Uno single-handedly changed the RV camping life for me and my family. It gave us something in the afternoons to do that we really enjoyed. You know, I can only imagine how you probably, it's like how I felt the first time I played Uno.
Well, for this, there's two key aspects of this game that makes it good. Is one, music is involved. And the ease of it.
Yeah.
It's super simple, and then music, and then it goes fast. And especially in our generation where you want like a new song.
Yeah.
And
Swipe,
then everything,
swipe me.
And then so it's not, you're playing card games, everything's quiet, and people are trying to win.
As a Latin person, of course, cards were huge, like the Spanish cards were huge, but dominoes is king. Adult party game,
My
heavy
buddy,
drinking and dominoes. Ooh.
my
Hey,
buddy,
Domino's are my grandpa.
yeah, Domino's, and I guess my buddy Dre started Domino's at his house
yeah.
parties that he has, and then like now the adults play Domino's, and they had me play when I was at the
Not as good as the
Halloween
music
party.
game. Not as good.
Well, yeah, because at least with the music game, it's constant music, different songs playing, and so Domino's. A lot of times you get into it and it is quiet, and people are playing Domino's, and then you.
Oh,
get,
if it's quiet, you're not playing it right. I mean, that's the loudest That's the loudest game.
Or people are yelling, and
Yeah,
then people are slapping down their domino and stuff.
Right.
But I guess you can have music in the background.
Very
Anyway, Domino's is
intimidated
good.
slopping down my domino.
Play some silent domino.
Yeah.
What-
Put the headphones on.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we've got a bunch of other stuff on
man.
Dump 'em Out Mondays.
I want to talk about Ozzy Osbourne saying
Yes.
goodbye. His final concert over the weekend.
Yeah, which is crazy that in 2025 is his final concert.
Yeah.
All right.
Wild. We will be right back. Cool.
Yeah, there's
yourself a water, son. Yeah, they've been really bad lately. How you been, man?
Good, dude.
I love that new guitar you got.
Me too.
How's it play?
Really well, and that's the reason why I got it. I went to look at it at Guitar Center, and like I said,
Kelly?
yeah.
What year?
It's not new. It's like 2021. It's
Oh,
like
really?
like a little short
And
run.
then somebody tried to fuck it up?
Like somebody tried to
Why
they
you-
sanded it down.
Why?
They spray
It's a
painted
brand
it.
new guitar. What are you doing?
No clue.
I don't like it when people do that. I'm okay with customization and all of that.
No,
But
yeah, and I'm okay with customization of like cheaper guitars. But
Sure.
like, take a Fender and then do that to it.
Like I have a Mexican Stratocaster. It's not an expensive guitar, but it's like a $300 guitar, and I don't think I'd start fucking whacking away at it in my wood shop.
But
It's not a good guitar.
but because they did that, I didn't pay what the market price was.
yeah, and you can get it back to good.
And like
'cause
I
you
got
know,
it, I already got it back to.
I should have brought my guitar over here today with the strings, and you could have showed me
yeah,
here.
Yeah. But it plays really well.
Nice.
So use it for some writing, hopefully for some shows, man. You ever listen to the Smoking Popes?
Very much so. Yeah.
Been into them lately.
Oh, they're great. They're very, very great. My favorite song by them is the one that goes, "Don't be a pussy all your life." That's how it ends.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, hold
I'll
on. What
check
song
it
is that?
They're playing in Tampa in September.
Smoking Popes, "Don't Be a Pussy All Your Life." Song, what is that? This is gonna bother me. It's a good song. Starstruck One.
Starstruck One.
Yeah, it's this song here. Let's see if it'll play. He says it at the end. Don't be a pussy all your life.
His voice is so good.
Yeah, it's super tenor. He's
Yeah.
a super tenor. Little nasally, you know.
Mhm.
All right, Mr. Van, you want me to bring us back?
Yep.
This is
Here we go.
still
So-
corporate time. Yeah.
ACT. Here we
We'll
go.
plug Tony too.
I'll bring us back in 3, 2. Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
Tony Moonjet's here.
Hey.
Tony, how can people contact you to, maybe do a wedding of theirs, some photo shoots?
Family photos, headshots.
Yes, very simple. You can go to my website. That's monjetphoto.com. That's MONGIAT photo.com. Or you can just find me on Instagram, same Monjet Photo.
A hit gift that can never go wrong is some family photos with the kids.
100%.
Yeah.
You're looking
This
for
man speaks the truth.
a present for your wife. Get Tony to take some kid pictures, some pro.
You know
kid
why
pictures.
it's great? Because it reminds her of something other than you. It reminds her of her
yeah,
children,
yeah.
which
Yeah.
she's probably not bitter.
She
towards
loves her kids more than she loves you.
Absolutely, not bitter
100%,
towards the
yeah.
kids.
But
Not
she'll
bit-
love you a little more if you give her the gift.
I can't guarantee that.
Well, I guarantee. This is the Moonjet
It's
guarantee.
a Moonjet guarantee.
Remember when
Moonjet.
I dressed my sons in some sort of suits and
Yeah.
we did
That was the Junior Dick Tracy's.
We went to Lou Garden.
Yeah, the
yeah.
double.
that
You
was
dressed
weird.
them as Lou. You know what's funny? He
I
dressed
don't know
them.
why I did that.
You know what the theme was? It was Lou Bega at Lou Garden. A little bit of Juniper in my life, a little bit of fedora on my head.
Those photos are still in that memento picture frame, like because the company went out of business, so they're frozen in time. These photos, so they still pop up, and I'm like, oh yeah.
I did that on purpose.
Come on, boys.
That's
weird.
I hacked into the system to
little
keep my photos.
Swedish Lou Begas.
So
Lou Vegas son.
The two, wasn't that guy's name, Lou Bega?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
so Ozzy Osbourne did his last show.
He did, and the chat room saying they said he sounded
No
really.
one was hurt, even though fire and
hold on.
pyrotechnic.
That didn't mean that. I didn't mean for that to happen. Sorry, that was not Ozzy Osbourne.
Ozzy Osbourne died in a
No, he
fire in
did
Sanford.
not. But I've only watched a couple of clips of Ozzy, and I saw the Mama I'm Coming Home, and I didn't think he sounded that good. Look, I know the guy is very, very old, and I know that just to get him up there in the throne, guess he came out of the ground in a black, vampire throne, and it was very ominous with almost every heavy music, person that's ever played basically paying homage to Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
And I saw the Mama I'm Coming Home, and I just thought it sounded a little rough. But people I think nostalgia
like
will take
105
control and be
years
like,
old.
no, he sounded great. It's like, I don't think he did. I'm not trying to be mean though. I just thought it sounded rough to me. And he was up there wiggling around, and it was great. I'm glad he did it, but I didn't think it was one of his better performances. That's just me.
Now, if you 20 years ago, when was the Osbournes reality show?
It might be 25 years ago.
Yeah,
It was like 30 years ago.
It was probably in 2004 or 5. I think I was on the radio when.
Oh yeah, we both were. Yeah.
And when that show was one of the beginning most popular reality TV shows of the Osbournes, and he was a bumbling old man back then. And if you would have told me back then, when do you think his last show is going to be? Right? So I would have been next year.
I think he was bumbling, but I think he still could sing. I think there were some qualities that were good.
Yeah.
And the chat room's correcting
20
me.
years later, his last show is pretty incredible.
The chat room's correcting me and saying I picked probably the worst song to come in on. But it's one of my favorite Ozzy Osbourne songs, so I wanted to see it. But I should check out Mr. Crowley, so I'll be doing that later today. I'm going to watch the whole thing.
I missed the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm going to watch the whole thing. I have to, just to see all the other
All the
tributes.
news I got from that was that Aquaman, what's his name, Momoa,
Yeah, got in the
was
pit.
in the pit. Big deal. So what?
Yeah.
He got
Well,
in the pit. Big deal.
Yeah, times are tough. We got to get the goodness where we get it, right? It's like if, what do you want to talk about? Momoa was in the pit.
Momoa's in the pit.
Imagine being in a mosh pit with Aquaman as you see
Momoa
Ozzy
runs
Osbourne
by.
sitting on a throne, barely getting through.
Ozzy Osbourne's on stage
Night Train.
dying while Aquaman's Momoing around you.
Yeah. Or Crazy Train, other Night Trains.
But Night Train, Guns N' Roses, they were there. You're almost on.
I did hear that Axl Rose sounded very rough.
Wow, I mean, again, these guys are, they're not, again, we're starting with people, like Ozzy. Ozzy was always a great singer. I don't know if Axl was, you know what I mean? I think he
was, but I mean, we're talking late 80s, early 90s. He was a great singer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
40 years ago, it's like the amount of time that's passed. It's funny that he gets any criticism at all, except for I can't believe he's still up there.
Well,
at least, even if his lip syncing,
here's
the
the
fact that
Ozzy-
he could just be up there.
Here's the Ozzy thing I wanted to talk about, and I wanted to get both of your opinions on this because I thought it was horrible. But so the concert went on, everything went great, and then I see online, they're like, oh, check out this video of Sid Wilson of Slipknot asking after the concert, after the final curtain, and Ozzy's final curtain has come down, and he's, it's basically that's his last hit. That's his last hurrah. He's done. And so Sid Wilson of Slipknot asked Kelly Osbourne to marry him backstage in front of Ozzy Osbourne. You are a tasteless POS. This is Ozzy Osbourne's big ending, right? This is his Mama, I'm coming home. I'm going to sing it. I'm going to cry. The crowd's crying. And you had to steal the moment. You shine-stealing mother effer. There's a reason Slipknot sucks, and now it's you because you don't do that to the Prince of Darkness. You don't let him. You let that old man have his moment, and then you let Kelly have her moment on a different day.
And
so effing selfish.
And
so
you let
selfish.
Aquaman have his moment, too.
Yeah, you let Aquaman have his moment as well. You let Momo. What are you doing, man? Like, that is the most tasteless. It's terrible. Like, I saw that. I'm like, well, this guy's a clown. What a clown. Who does that to Ozzy Osbourne? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? It ruins your moment, and it ruins Ozzy's moment. Let Ozzy, and I think Ozzy's had some thing, like, on the video, he's like, we are not marrying my daughter. Like, he said some funny thing, because that's how he is. He's funny. But let the man have his moment, dude. He's done. This is it. We're not going to see him anymore. And you had to steal. You had to go backstage, all dressed up with your dumb slick back Slipknot hair, and you had to,
I've seen people get
Disgusting.
engaged at weddings.
Gross.
And that's...
it's gross.
Don't
It's gross.
don't
You
do
should be
that.
asked to leave.
Don't do
You
that.
should be asked to leave when you do that. I know you've probably seen that a bunch of times at a wedding.
I've seen it happen.
You should be asked to leave.
You're like, I have to make an announcement after.
It's such a Michael Scott. You have to be asked to leave. I'm like, no, you
That's
have
like
to
wearing...
leave.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
That's like wearing... Like, if you're a guest and you wear a white dress to a wedding, don't do that. It's like saying Ozzy Osbourne, don't wear black to Ozzy Osbourne's show. So don't get engaged in front of him.
But why?
Why? It's stupid. It's silly. It's
you didn't need to do it, man. Like, this is the biggest, and he knew it. And that's the part that's gross, is that you know that as far as, Birmingham or England or Ozzy or him, this is the biggest. It's being covered by they had full YouTube channels that were rolling 24/7 of the streets of London, whatever. Streets of Birmingham, England. And then you have to go backstage and do that because you couldn't stand it. You couldn't let Ozzy have his moment. You had to get back there and Slipknot it up. Playing your trash cans. Oh, get on your trash cans, clown. Bang them good. You fool. You dumb clown fool.
Like Ozzy Osbourne's people, Sharon Osbourne, and all the people that his handlers. They had to obviously they've been planning this out for years, I'm guessing, or at least a year. It was like, this will be your final show.
Probably longer than a year.
I wonder how close it was to him not even being able to do it. Or
I think
if
it was touch and go, dude.
Could he still have a year or more? Like, could he do this next year? It's like did they have to give him a bunch of Adderall that Joe Biden them to get him there?
I don't know.
I mean, I wonder how close it was to him not being able to even.
Didn't he say that he might die on stage?
There were
he's been saying that for years.
Well, no, there were reports that this may not even happen. There were reports.
Like, they pushed it to the end. Like,
right.
It's not like he still has some gas left in the tank. Like, this is running out.
I think we're close.
How cool and metal would have been if at the very
he falls in a coffin
he
and
just
just falls in the coffin
and dies. It just dies.
And then
that would
Sid
be a
from
cool
Slipknot
ending.
gets on the coffin.
And he bites a bad head off.
He bites a bad head off, and inside the bat is a little scroll. Roll the scroll out. Will you marry me? Kelly, will you marry me?
I'm always obsessed with wild men, right? That at one time in their lives were like considered completely out of control wild, and like Ozzy Osbourne was one of them. Like
Zach
back
Wild.
in his drug.
I like Fat Ozzy when he looked like there was a time when Ozzy Osbourne looked like Dusty Rhodes, and that's the best Ozzy.
Like
the best Ozzy Osbourne is when he looks exactly like Dusty Rhodes. He has a curly perm and he's fat and he's just wild alcoholic.
Yeah, and then biting head.
Dusty Osbourne.
I look like
Dusty Osbourne.
Imagining myself traveling back, like Ric Flair is kind of like this, where you travel back.
Oh, he just had surgery. Did you see his stomach all stapled up?
Yeah.
It looks rough.
To a point in life where people around this person was like, this guy's gonna die next week, like, or this guy's gonna die tonight. He's crazy. He's wild. It's like, and then you told them like, he's gonna live 58 more years. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then like 50 years from now, he's gonna be doing his last concert. The person would be like, "No, I'll bet my life that can't happen." You know what I'm saying?
Look at
and
the
then
Rolling
they do.
Stones. They're still going.
Keith Richards.
Yeah, still going.
Like, you know, it's like the person's been doing heroin for 40 years.
Frankie Valli just stopped, and that's because we forced him to. He was up there just and they were playing the backing track, and he's up there just and they're like, we're finally like, people are like, we've had enough. We got to put him away.
Like, it's crazy how much longer a human can go when you think like this person will never make it past next week.
And
then they go on 50 more years.
You
You're like,
mentioned
holy crap.
Ric Flair. Are we allowed to tangent on Dump 'Em Out
Yeah,
Mondays?
yeah,
Okay, because this feels comfortable to me. We had a Twitch chat room user who mentioned something I mentioned to you walking to lunch the other day. There is a rumor that Ric Flair has been kicked out of 6 different Tampa area bars for soiling his diapers.
Okay, yeah.
There are rumors about Ric Flair being kicked out of bars, namely one where I think the owner got on the Reddit and was like giving the gory details if he crapped his pants.
It's crazy that this man's still drinking. Like, I watched that Ric
I think
Flair
he has to at this point.
documentary. Yeah, but like,
know what I mean?
How's his organs not shut down? Like,
Because they'll shut down when he stops drinking.
I know that's it's like the transmission fluid in your old truck, and like they don't change it. But I think a
Chat
doctor
room is
would be
saying-
like, drinking more alcohol is not really keeping you alive. It's just like an anomaly at this point.
Chat room is saying that everyone says or claims to put up with it because he tips so well that it offsets the poo-poo. What do you think? Tony, what do you think? You're a waiter. You're a waiter in a Tampa restaurant in Ric Flair. He sits down. He orders, 10 Captain and Cokes, and you set him out there, and then you get a little bit. It's smelling like a little bit like a nursery in there, little diapery. But then you start seeing him peel off those sweet hundos. I mean, and it's going to be hard to keep those alligators down, right?
As long as I don't have to clean anything.
Yeah, no, you're not touching the guy.
I don't care.
You're not changing his diaper.
And your other patrons in the bars, like, hey, it was Ric Flair. He smells like ass.
Smells like crap.
He pooped his pants. Like, that's a funny story.
That
right?
is a great story.
Yeah, that if you were in a bar and Ric Flair pooped his pants while you were there, like, well, that's pretty cool. You tell your, you put that on Twitter.
If I were in a bar and Ric Flair were crapping his pants at the bar, I'd probably, just to take advantage of the moment, ask my wife to marry me in front of him. Steal the moment from Rick.
But again, 20 years ago, I remember being on the radio talking about, remember when Ric Flair had his scratch-off tickets and then, like, his...
Yeah, he got beat up by his son-in-law.
Yeah, beat up by his son-in-law and all that. Like, back then he was a raging alcoholic, out of control.
Still wrestling, though.
Yeah, still wrestling.
Still
but
wrestling.
That was 20 years ago.
25 years ago.
25 years ago. He's kept this lifestyle up for 25 more years, and he was old back then. Like, he was in his 50s back then.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was like,
late 50s, early 60s.
Yeah. So,
and I bet that guy has blood work done and better than me.
No, that's where you're
they
right.
like to tell you that.
No, it's bad.
Okay, I've had a lot of friends.
But he's still alive, though.
I've also had a ton of friends that are like heavier friends. This goes into the file of Florida Indian. And what I mean by that is we all know hundreds of Floridians, white Floridians that claim to be Native American or Indian, and they are not, right? It's just not a thing. But we also know tons of morbidly obese people that will tell us to our face, got my blood work back better than yours. And it's not. It's not the case. You're lying. You know you're lying. You know, maybe it was one time. It's not now.
Although Ric Flair's genetics must be really good because there's a lot of people that this lifestyle would have killed other people way before it's, it's killing Ric Flair. But at this point, he's in his 80s. And so he's lived longer than the normal or the average male human in the world. Living like that is crazy.
Chat room can help me and clear this up, but I believe there is a rumor that he wants one more match. Ric Flair.
I think he's been talking about this. And no one
is this like his thing, and he doesn't. Nobody's gonna do it.
I think he's fighting it right now against death.
Yeah,
a crap my pants match. I'd watch that. Would you watch a Ric Flair crap my pants match? Yeah. I'd watch that.
Big wrestling organizations, I don't think want anything to do with him, right? Because
he'll
Savannah
eventually
Bananas.
He'll make his way back into the WWE at some point to die.
will they actually do a wrestling? Like he
No,
can't
no,
do
I don't know.
much.
I don't know if he'll wrestle, but he'll definitely like
Do something.
Yeah, he'll
Or
do
retire.
like or do like a big
Final.
ending because he's already done that. I think like 9 different times, right?
Yeah.
How many
yeah.
endings has this guy had?
Well, I mean, when I watched his documentary that he had,
Okay,
it was sad.
he did
I mean,
one
his
more.
life, it was insane.
Oh, he
but
already
sad.
did it. Chat room is saying he already did it. It was 2022, and he passed out from dehydration during it.
Yeah. I'm telling you, this guy is still.
I mean, we have
raging
diarrhea
alcoholic.
every single day. You need some potato. You need some bananas.
I mean, what's Ric Flair's day to day? Like he gets up. He has a horrible alcoholic diarrhea, and then he has some coffee. Like he doesn't eat breakfast, right?
Sweetheart. Yeah.
Old people don't tend to eat that much.
No.
Like
He has
you
like
start
a piece
eating
of,
less.
He has like a half an English muffin and 9 cups of coffee. Then he has a second diarrhea.
Yeah.
Then he gets up. He goes in and has like his chauffeur drive him to.
He still does
like,
working out. Like,
he'll do his workout, and then he'll have his chauffeur drive him to O'Malley's for a couple of 11 a.m. cocktails.
and then he
Right?
just drinks
Gotta
all
go to
day.
O'Malley.
Yeah.
Does he go to different bars?
Yeah.
throughout
I'm
the
going to
day?
hit O'Malley's. I'm going to hit Seaside. I'm going to get an Ocean Beat.
And
I'm going to swing back around to Kato Sushi.
Yeah.
I don't know. I made all that up, but that sounds good, right?
Yeah. And by the time you get to the last one, that's when. And he's wearing diapers. I mean, like because of.
Well, he wouldn't call them
incontinence.
diapers. They're incontinence briefs.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Action
smart.
briefs.
Which
They're
is smart.
older man
Yeah.
action briefs.
Yeah.
Which I might actually start doing that when I go out.
How
I've always wanted to.
how is
Andrea
his-
won't let me buy them and try them. I want to buy them and try them.
How-
I pee in bags on road trips, man. That's what I do.
How is his heart still working?
Fine.
Like with
His heart
that
is
much
better than ever.
stress,
Yeah.
like working out,
It's
the
like a
steroids,
Swiss clock.
like it's just like that's just good genetics.
Can you make a case that the
God.
pace and the amount of drugs and alcohol he was doing in his younger days set him up to do less of it in his older days?
I mean, again, you talk to a doctor, you're like, this all has incremental like effects on your organs and your heart. Like, so the fact that he's done this for 30 years, 40 years without really breaks, and then his heart is still working is crazy. Like, people have heart attacks all the time for way less hard living.
Is it gonna be a hospitalization, decline in death, or is it gonna be a boop, lights out, gone?
It should be lights out.
Me too. That's what
But-
I'm thinking, right? It should be lights out. But I
But
don't
who
know
knows?
No, I don't think it's going to happen like that. If I had to make my call, and this is very morbid, I don't like to do this, but I'll do it. I think it's going to be long drawn out because he's tough.
If you have really good genetics and you don't have any sort of these cancers in your genetics, and just like he's an anomaly obviously, and I think the alcohol and bad living does take longer to actually die by. It's like the drinking yourself to death, like leaving Las Vegas or whatever. I'm not sure. I guess you could just go into a coma eventually, but you just pass out and then
Only
wake
for a
back up.
week.
Like,
He's
I
not
don't
weak.
even
He's
know
not
you
going to
can-
go into a coma. I feel like the guy's fueled. It seems like without
He's doing
drinks,
his standards, so it's not like he's drinking like 10 gallons of vodka.
I don't think he is. I think he's doing
He's having
like
15 drinks a
a
day.
day. Yeah. Which, by the way, Carnival Cruise Line allows you to have. That is their cutoff per last week. They released that.
Really?
Carnival Cruise Line will now cut you off. You get 15 drinks a day. That's all you get. After that, you are no longer allowed to have any drinks.
Wait, is that with a free drink package or
Yeah.
just
You just
Yeah,
have your
that's-
wife go get you.
Yeah,
some.
they've also, some of the
So
new
it makes it
cruise
30.
rules, they put this in the BDM group. Some of the new cruise rules are they banned personal fans. So no more of those little mini fans. You're not allowed to have those.
Why is that?
Really? Why?
Yeah, because they are bothering people, I guess, and then they can't control the size of the fan. I think you got some people bringing full-on box fans out there, plugging them in the wall. And then Bluetooth speakers. Finally,
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Finally, they're cutting down on time. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Carnival.
I can't
for-
blast your Bluetooth.
Yeah,
Oh.
so
yeah.
you can't. We have music on the boat. You're gonna have to listen to Your Mama Is Your Mama and Your Daddy Don't Know 100 more times. You're gonna have to listen to Junkanoo music. You cannot listen to your own Bluetooth. Sorry.
Well, does Carnival know who their customers are? I don't think they do. It's like telling Ric Flair he can't do to his pants. It's like if you're all your customers are Flairs, then you need to let the doo-doo happen.
In other sports news, I wanted to get y'all's opinion on this. Over the weekend, I guess Jake Paul fought. Was it Julio Chavez Jr.?
I didn't even see that Jake Paul was fighting. So this was it.
It was on the Zone, that new app, like
Okay.
DAZN. That's the app that's having all the Club World Cup and all that stuff.
And
like,
I think
highly advertised.
I
in that
think
app.
he's a
Yeah,
part owner in that.
possibly.
The Zone. I think the Paul brothers have their hands in the Zone. app.
I mean, between him and Messi, I mean, the commercials for that app was
Yeah,
covered.
it was Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
Okay.
And it was,
I didn't see a lot of media about this.
It was like last week, I guess.
Okay.
But Paul won by unanimous decision. It was called Really Messy because Chavez didn't really punch. And that seems to be the case in all of these, quote, fights that Paul fights. When it's a rigged fight, the fighter that's supposed to not punch is not punching. And everybody's then shocked.
Yeah.
Like, why isn't he punching? He was asked not to punch.
right.
He's getting paid to not punch. Well, his dad's a famous boxer, yes. And he's going to make more money for this fight than his dad did by not punching.
This is the only fight he'll make money off of for the rest of his life.
So here's the beef.
It's a payday.
So here's the beef. The beef is that he got ranked, I guess, as of yesterday. Jake Paul got ranked 14th by the WBA, which I'm guessing is the World Boxing Association.
Okay.
I wish some of our boxing friends would call in. We've got a couple of listeners that are really, really into real professional boxing. So then I guess it was reported, and I think I saw this on TMZ, that the gentleman who was ranked 14th, who is now currently ranked lower than that, is like, no.
I'm
You're
way
not
back-
ranking
yeah.
this guy higher than me, and he's a clown, and I am in. Like, I've dedicated my entire life to boxing. Like, I live boxing. I wasn't on Disney Channel. I wasn't on YouTube. I'm a boxer. It's in my blood, and you're gonna take this guy over me just because of hype? So now we're there. So I didn't think we'd get this far, but here we are.
I agree with him.
I agree with him too.
The overall sport of boxing obviously is the lowest it's been, and people don't necessarily, not that many boxing fans left that are really into it. Like the actual legitimate sport. Like we're watching these celebrities fight and stuff, and that's that's popular. But ask someone to name you the top ranked middleweight boxing fighter nowadays. No one's gonna know.
Yeah, but isn't that the equivalent of the Savannah Bananas of boxing? Like, hey, we're gonna put
it's
a
the
show
celebrity
for you.
ones. Yeah, that's the Jake Paul fighting, and that's what's been working, and that's kind of the only thing that's maybe saving boxing at all. Like I think it would, if there wasn't these celebrity fights, I think boxing would have probably been way more dead than it is now. Because
it
this
would
is
be
keeping the interest at least into the sport of boxing.
It is. Unfortunately, I don't think they want the interest. It's kind of like our Savannah Bananas argument from
The
the
hardcore
first hour.
talk,
Yeah, it's like we don't want to see this. Well, if it's predetermined, why would you want to see that? You can just watch wrestling.
The promoters and everybody making money off boxing, and even the fighters, have to admit, like, you need more eyes on the sport, or maybe this will get more eyes to the regular sport. But it doesn't seem to have translated.
Do you think MMA kind of took away a lot of eyes from boxing?
Yeah, it got diluted. Yeah. There's aspects of boxing that we don't like watching now because of what we know about concussions and like head trauma and like just watching a boxer take hits after hit into the head and just kind of like, so even MMA now, when someone gets knocked unconscious and falls to the ground and then the fighter jumps on them and starts hitting his unconscious head,
it's my favorite part.
While his head,
it's when I climax.
While the person's hands are frozen and a posture, I think it's called posturing, when you get unconscious, your hands trying to protect your head or your brain.
Like a fainting goat.
You know where you are.
So and then when someone's hitting the person, like he gets 3 good hammer fists to the face before the ref tackles him off. Nowadays the average I feel like viewer is gonna be like, ooh, it's like it's not comfortable watching that as it was like back in the 90s. You were screaming, "Yeah, he's knocked out!" But now it's kind of like,
I think the Russians are doing it well. I saw recently, I'm guessing Russian, I don't know. It's a soccer game, but with punching. So anybody who has the ball,
the
can
MMA,
it's like an MMA
soccer game. I've seen that.
No, I have not seen.
I've seen this, and they were wearing headgear and playing it, right?
Yeah. Well, the one I saw, no headgear, but they did have the little knuckle glove.
Yeah, they're
thingies.
Like MMA gloves.
yeah,
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
1 ounce or
So
whatever.
you
they
play
are.
soccer and you're allowed to run up to the player
And
and then
punch him.
start fighting him?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can fight him for the
So,
ball
yeah.
to take the ball.
So as long as you have the ball, it seemed to me that the one person that had the ball would get punched, and then they would pass the ball, then the other person get punched.
Okay.
So they're all fighting each other over.
Was
yeah.
it entertaining?
Yeah, I mean, I saw a little bit of it, but
Yeah, but could you watch a whole game of it, or can you just watch a
Possibly.
clip?
I
on
think it'd
the
be too
social
hard
media?
to follow. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Because then again, what do you want to see the fighting or do you want to see the soccer? Like
Yeah.
you're
Kind of goes back to the Savannah Bananas thing. It's like, do you want to watch the party animals dance, or are we knocking dingers out here? Can of corn. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. And anytime you start mixing, like, have you seen the two guys running at each other? It's kind of like the line
medieval
What?
time.
No, this is
Oh.
like a linebacker versus a running back.
What is this thing? I know what you're talking about.
It seems like that it's maybe like big in Hawaiian culture, like that, just big dudes.
The Maui Challenge.
And then one person gets the ball. It's kind of like a running back where
It's a one-on-one run versus stop.
Yes, and then you run full speed at each other, and then you see who wins. Like was one person going to run over the other guy? Like people get fully knocked unconscious.
Whoa.
Which is
it's
it's
crazy.
violent to watch. And then
That's like the opposite of tug of war.
Yeah, it's a lot.
yeah,
It's a lot.
Yeah, essentially two gigantic dudes running at each other and then meeting.
No pads, nothing.
No, well, no. They don't have a helmet. Nothing.
Gear on.
No,
Yeah.
no gear.
No. I mean, just like athletic clothing
Yeah.
is what I mean. Not
Yeah.
not a helmet.
No helmet. No
Just like
shoulder
clothing.
pads. That you're just doing it. Which.
Like in workout clothing.
Yeah,
Whoa.
you're wearing Under Armour and then some
And you're just
some
smashing into
basketball
a man.
shorts.
Yeah. It's out there.
But again, like you watch it, you're like, whoa! Like, but if you were there, I'm like, I think after the fifth one, you're like, nah, I can't watch it. It's just like it's too like I feel bad for especially the person gets knocked out of the.
What is it called? I want to
I
check it out.
forget what it's called. We watched it one day, but Tom's right. You can
it's
only
in
do
my
about
TikTok algorithm.
3 or 4 videos. You know what's also in my TikTok algorithm? I don't know if you have this.
It's like
too.
the slap fighting.
I get all the
thing as
juggalo
well.
fights. Do you get all the juggalo fights
No.
where it's like they have a ring and they fight and then they'll knock each other out and then they get up and then they hug their makeup off.
Yeah.
And they're like, I love you, brother. And then I'm like, oh, look at those juggalos. They're loving each
And
other.
drink a Fago.
I saw a video the other day of it was like a backyard wrestling or an amateur wrestling type of thing, and it was raining, and then the guy that won jumped up on the ropes, right, and then went to go like hold on to the light. They had basically lights set up that were like next to the ring, like on
your
towers.
mom's outdoor patio
Like
lights.
this.
No, but it was like they were set up on like metal trusses
Yeah,
so they could hang them. But I guess because of the rain, they got electrified. So he grabbed
No.
it. He got electrocuted,
Oh my
right?
God.
And then got himself off, and then jumped into the water.
What?
It was bizarre. Like he got electrocuted, then like shook out of it, and then like did a cannonball. And like just like,
Yeah,
God
that's
damn.
tough. That's
That
tough.
sounds like something you would have done
Yeah.
15 years
I
ago.
like the idea of grabbing a pole after I'm done backyard wrestling. It shocks my memory out of my body, and then I have to go, wait a minute, what was I doing? Oh, yeah, celebrating. Cannonball! And then I still follow through.
It was ridiculous.
One more thing I wanted to mention about this boxing thing that we're talking about. It is under review currently because there is so much hubbub about it now that the WBA is now saying, okay, we'll put his ranking under review now. And then also that other boxer that was just under him who was very upset about this, they're kind of acquiescing and looking into this for them. So it probably won't last. I can't imagine.
See, I always think of all these stories as if the organization has been sitting around talking to each other in their marketing department, and and the discussions are, how do we get more views? How do we get into the media? How do we get people talking about us? And then when one of these things happen, I'm like, did they say, hey, we should put Jake Paul and rank him top 15 just because it'll make a bunch of news and
put
it'll
him
get
at the end,
exposure?
too. They did
Yeah,
put him
but-
at the end. It does look a little bit like a work.
And
Also,
then
wouldn't it be-
it'll get people talking about us, and then it did.
Why
and then
not
it's like,
do this?
okay, well, then is it real?
So why not do this? You're mad about him being ranked higher. We'll give him a title shot. and we'll find out. Let's do it.
But then it'll take everything away because we'll realize,
but
he's
it
not
will be
as
the
good.
biggest.
He's
It'll
not
be
that
the
good.
biggest. You better have your ducks in a row for that fight because it's going to be huge.
It would, yeah, you're right.
It's going to be huge.
You're right, but would he do it? Because it seems like
No, because he knows he's not that good.
eking it, taking these specialized fights, and although this last one, it wasn't even talked about that I saw.
I
so
think
it's
that
kind of
was-
like
I think
after
that was
the
kind of
Tyson,
deliberate.
we all saw the Tyson, and I think a lot of people were done with it.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I think they didn't talk about this one.
Yeah,
I don't even think that was us not talking about it. I think
The
his
media.
camp.
Yeah.
I think his
Oh.
camp took the fight, kept it low key because this is the one that they were going to base the ranking on. So
okay.
you take the fight. This guy's he's on the take. I mean, 100% on the take, and then you pay him off, and then you get your ranking based on a big name fighter, and then
And you could be right. He might have something to do with the Zone app.
I think he owns
because
part of
this,
that.
I mean,
yeah.
the Zone. I've been watching a lot of the Club World Cup matches, and I mean that fight was promoted heavily on that app.
Okay.
But it wasn't promoted anywhere else.
Yeah, the rest of the media didn't care as much because it was less of a goof. You're fighting some retired celebrity, like that boxer was actually ranked of some sort.
No, they don't own it, but they do work a lot with the Zone, with their most valuable. Their company's called Most Valuable Promotions. The MVP brand is the Paul brothers.
Did you guys, speaking of celebrities boxing, did you guys see one of the Island Boys got into the ring as well?
Which one?
A little bit ago. I don't know.
I like one of the Island Boys.
And they got their asses kicked.
Were they boxing?
Well, his way of boxing.
Oh, okay. all right.
Against like an actual.
The Island Boy in boxing, right?
Boxing.
He's an Island Boy.
He weighs 150 pounds. It was
Probably less
skinny
than
as
that.
hell. Yeah. It's 140.
It was pretty funny.
Does he still have the big doo-doo spikes?
I don't know.
I don't
No,
think they do. They went back to the
don't.
Caesar cut.
One of them went to jail recently, right? What a weird thing. Like
They seriously are.
these internet sideshow people that
Oh, there's a lot of them.
and they make money, and like people don't they exaggerate how much they make,
Yeah.
but they do make money. So the money's flowing in, and so what a bizarre thing.
Well, I mean, they realized that people hating on them was giving them views and all this other stuff, and that becomes a revenue. You're like,
and then just you monetize the views, and they do appearances, and they'll
DJ, do appearances, show up to car
yeah,
lot.
and so they
Kodiak Red was
there
the
we go.
one.
That's the one.
He did a boxing match versus. Oh, they've done a bunch. They did Kodiak Red versus Oblivion in April of this year, and then they did a brother-on-brother exhibition fight in May.
So what's interesting? This reminds me of Liver King, and I'll explain.
Oh,
in the
he's crashing
No,
out
no.
too. That he's like being arrested, has an ankle monitor because he's terroristic threats towards Joe Rogan.
So everything obviously has a life and death, and that happens in entertainment, right? So that's inevitable. No one is popular forever. So we're seeing the life and death of these social media freak show, people, influencers that are just like known for
Talk to her.
absurdity.
She's done.
Yeah. And
Is she done?
Yeah, she's done.
Well, it goes down slow. It doesn't just end. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It comes in for a landing. So, but then the people that are known and used to get a lot of attention, Island Boys, Liver King, right? They had a height, and now it's on the decline. But just like a 90s radio DJ, you crave the attention.
You got to do more.
Because the attention is what gave you the fame, and you need the
Right.
stories.
That's why you end up kissing your brother and,
yeah.
and pretending to fillet a banana in the kitchen.
And then so you just start doing more and more and more
Savannah Bananas.
to try to get attention. If you're Liver King, your height of the attention was when it came out that you weren't actually just eating livers, that you were on steroids, of course. And then you started to, coming in for a landing.
Now you're holding an axe on camera saying you're going to, quote, make Joe Rogan pay.
So
and
then,
that's why you get arrested.
Right.
So you just do whatever it takes to try to get any sort of attention. So
it's desperation.
Yeah. So we're going to see a
Where
lot
do
more.
when do we start making out?
But
Are we there yet?
our
You've been looking like a snack lately, buddy.
we
I mean, the tip touching, that was pretty close to you
We
guys.
started started with
now,
that. We
yeah.
started with the gay.
Yeah.
We've always been gay. Started the gay. Always been gay. You can't even. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then
Take that, Liver King. We started with it.
and we've seen it. Like we realized.
Brought
like,
to you by Bang Gay. By the way.
Plus, we made fun of it. Like if if I start jumping things again, our listeners are gonna be like,
And you can now. You're in like the best shape.
It's sad.
You're already
It's
working
sad.
on. You're already
Yeah,
working
it's
on
sad.
one.
You're in
You're
the
already
best
working
shape
on
you've
one.
I'm
ever
aware of how sad it looks.
I thought I
You
was
see what I'm
gonna.
saying?
I thought I was gonna be Luchador Rey Mysterio Jr. and you're gonna wrestle SJ for the Tom and Dan title.
Do you think you can backflip right now better than you could before?
I
You're
did
in
a-
better shape right now.
I bet he can. You did one off that rock.
I can still, but I did on the trampoline because I announced when all the kids were at the Wizard's house. The Wizard still rolls
You
with
announced.
trampolines because he doesn't care.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he give about his insurance.
He's a pure blood Patriot American.
Cherokee.
He's a
And
pure blood.
he
pure
gets them.
blood.
He gets them from free all over the place because people have to give them away because their insurance.
You just follow the drones.
Yeah, their insurance companies say get rid of the trampoline or we're gonna drop you. So they put up on Facebook Marketplace
Just
for
a
free.
scare tactic. Paint an H on it. It's a helicopter pad. Nobody will know.
You spray
been
paint it
doing that
green.
for
They
years.
can't.
Yeah.
It looks like your yard.
Yeah. Put an H on it.
And I proclaimed to all the kids, what, you want to see me do a backflip? No.
Wait. Were you proclaiming something? Because that was a question.
Were you gonna do a black flip?
A real proclaimer doesn't go, ladies and gentlemen, I'm doing a back. Like, do you want to see a back? What if they go, no, we don't care.
I would have done it anyway.
This backflip isn't for
Well,
them.
guess
It's
what?
for him.
No one said yes.
They never do. Did
I
you see the
just-
video of you jumping off the rock? You were like, your wife had to go, boys, he's doing it.
I had to tell
Boys, he's doing it.
I announced, you want to see me do a backflip? No one said nothing, and I did it.
And did they cheer?
So no one cheered.
I bet
But-
Crystal did. She's ride or die. She'll cheer.
Yeah.
That's a good woman right there. Crystal will cheer every backflip he does.
I came around a little slower than I thought.
Well, that's just because you got more muscle now.
No, because I was being a little too cautious because I thought I was going to do that move if I tucked and then I land like with a little bit of backwards momentum, then I bounce.
Oh, then you bounce onto your spine.
I bounce into the wooden fence, into the neighbor's fence. So I,
Land on your
anyway,
head.
no one cared, but I still had a little bit of
I'm
it.
proud of you.
Yeah,
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, look at you, man. You're
yeah.
playing
Getting out there.
board games. You're flipping.
Yeah, I mean, look, this guy's like a regular teenager over here.
I realize that I'll die thinking I can do something I used to be able to do, and and it'll just be even if it gets to walking. Or my pop-up experienced this. Like he wouldn't use his walker, and then he broke his neck, and because he fell. And everybody told him to use your walker. He was like refused to do it. Then he drug himself inside. Remember, and he spent the whole night on his kitchen floor.
Well, that's the best night of his life.
woke up-
He said, I asked him, I guess it was the best night of my life.
And then the lady who was
Laying
taking
crippled on
care
that
of
floor.
found and called me, and I was like, oh no, and
A real man likes to paralyze you, crawl into your cabin and just lay there alone. It's like, peace.
By the way, returned his goddamn life alert that I got him because he was mad that I got him his life alert. And he wouldn't wear the bracelet. Called the company.
Returned your gay computer bracelet.
And I was like, Papa, I didn't have the heart to say, like, this is what it was for.
This is to save your life, Grandpa.
Then he's like, never complained about it. He's like, I had to spend the whole night on my kitchen floor, a broken neck.
Tony, you know what's so funny?
Never talked about
I
it.
remember how mad you were because he returned it without you knowing, didn't he? He
Yeah,
did it
because
without.
I was
and
like,
you-
he'll never figure this out.
And you were like, what the? And he had already called the people and had them take all the stuff home.
I was like, where did he find the number?
I was gonna
good.
say like
There
that's
was, there was
hey,
no phone book that he didn't
a
know
lot
to use
of
the internet.
information.
if my dad was angry, he could do anything.
Yeah.
A real Florida man,
He called
full of
someone.
anger, can do anything.
Like he must have called some number and then just said like, "Hey, I'm trying. Help me get a
I would've-
Didn't he cancel a
Like, he
nurse you
could-
had for him too, or something? Like he was pretty good at getting out of the stuff you did. Like he's like,
Dude,
I'm not
I-
doing this.
But I would have thought he would have just taken that thing off his wrist and like hit it with a hammer or something.
no,
and be
he
done
wanted
with
the
it.
money back. He wasn't. He's like,
Yeah. He didn't
liked
want
money.
to waste the money, and he wasn't even paying for it.
Doesn't
but
matter.
Someone was,
Yeah.
and he didn't want it.
Get the
He's
money back.
He didn't of course he didn't use it. He wouldn't wear the bracelet, but he at least because it's always you could say, "Hey, life alert, I'm on the floor."
Well, they did make it a bracelet. Why didn't they make it a cowboy hat? Why didn't they make it, a bracelet? Why did they make it a bracelet?
He was real mad that they always had the ability to listen. He didn't like that. I'm like, you're alone. You're not even talking to anybody. What are they listening to? You listen to loud ass westerns and boxing, HBO boxing.
Didn't he allegedly have weapons hidden in every plant in his house or behind every painting?
Yeah.
There's like guns everywhere.
Yeah. During the end, I was like, I'm gonna get shot in the chest one of these days. Like I would knock on the door and then stand, cops stand. I'm like, hey, Pop, I'm here, but I wouldn't stand in front of the door in case a shotgun blast.
It's Thomas, Tommy,
just in case, didn't want to surprise him. Anyway,
we gotta get out of here, buddy. Is there? Let's plug some stuff. Let's plug Moonjet.
Yeah. Moonjetphoto.com for all your photography needs.
Yeah. What's in style right now? What are people getting done mostly? Wedding? Is it weddings?
So right now is pretty much the beginning of my slow season when it comes to weddings.
So a good time to call.
I have to. In Venezuela, we say kill a tiger, which means
that sounds racist.
Which means finding side jobs. You're killing tigers here and there.
I like that.
You're doing. I'm doing a lot of portrait work. So if you want family portraits,
I've never had one.
Let's
need to get one done.
Let's talk Venezuela because I was telling my friends, I was like, man, I like a good value. And I was like,
oh, you like great value? You like Walmart? You're a Walmart guy like me?
And then like everybody, I'm like, let's travel to some place that everybody's afraid to go to, and then you could live like a king for pennies on the dollar. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, I feel like Venezuela's safer than it was 10 years ago. But still, the perception is like Americans are afraid to travel there. So you could probably go and live in a beachside villa and get, you live like an insane king on the beach in Venezuela for
like if you know the right people, you can do it. It's funny enough, like I was watching on YouTube.
Well, that's why I know you.
I get,
we want you to help us out.
Yeah, but I haven't been there in 24 years, so if I go there, I'll be lost myself. But there was this girl on YouTube, like a travel vlogger.
Yeah.
I think she's from Norway or something like that. Like she spent like a month in Venezuela, like hitchhiking, going to camps, like by herself. A woman by herself spent a whole month over there, like hitchhiking. Which if you tell me to hitchhike over there, I would decline. That would never do.
Yeah,
that.
I was gonna say I'm always looking for single female hitchhikers, and I never see them anywhere.
Yeah, but the most people you come in contact with are good. The
I
majority. That's how math works. It's like the small amount.
In my head, I still have like registered like the danger, like the number one.
You saw the dangers.
Number one most dangerous city in the world at one point, but. I thought it was crazy that you can go there and hitchhike for a month and be okay.
But I want to stay in a tree house in Angel Falls, and I want to.
Oh no, all those things we can do.
Yeah. That's
sure.
why I want to go into the rainforest and have an insane adventure.
As a matter of fact, like to get
what's
to
an insane rainforest adventure?
This is like whitewater tree house, whitewater.
Because you do a lot of these insane adventures, and you never come back.
I'm just chasing it.
He quests for these things, and he goes to them. Like this, we're talking to the man that on our show has been like is living on the side of a volcano in Hawaii, and that's all right.
No, it's good.
But you never come back with like, whoa! You're like it's always
because it's a planning. I'm like now my sights are set on some
rainforest adventure,
like South America countries that Americans are afraid to go to because I'm telling you that's where the
the cool thing about like if you wanted to go to Angels Falls, which we've been talking about this for how long, you don't even have to go into any of the cities. Like you land on the international airport and you take another plane from there straight to where Angels Falls is.
Like they were flying in a Cessna.
Like a little Piper Cub.
They were landing in the rainforest.
Oh, the engine's going out.
They get out and they're like, they're like, hey, you want to pee off Angel Falls? There's no rules.
You want to take a dump off Angel Falls?
Yeah, like, you want to shoot a gun into the waterfall? Like, they'll let you, like,
I don't think they do that.
Yeah, $50.
I don't think that the rainforests are known for,
No,
like, you just go there, they let you shoot guns in there.
And then you want to do mushrooms or whatever, like anything you want as like, hey, what do you want to do?
You want to bang me?
You know?
You want to have sex with me, your guy?
Yeah. They wanna get, like, we got a sloth here. You
want to kill a human? You want to eat a human arm?
Yeah. This sloth like stays in your room.
What do you want to do?
And,
do you want to see the very first Venezuelan Pizza Hut? I can take you to that, too. It looks just like the old ones with the cool tablecloths and the jukebox.
So, like, you want to jump over or, like...
What do you want to do?
You
like, have sex with an alligator? We can do it.
A dune buggy? You want to flip this dune buggy? You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not worried about the lawsuits.
You want to play Hitster, the music game, sponsored by Spotify?
All right, guys. We will see you on the BDM show, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Awesome. Save that. Dune buggy should make a comeback. I like dune buggies.
We still haven't figured out if you can or can't, because we were having this discussion over the weekend about, because some of my friends just got back from North Carolina too, and then they rented some side-by-sides and they're driving around the streets. And they're talking about, like, everybody driving around the streets side by Tennessee
in Oregon, right?
And Montana.
Yeah, it's Oregon and Montana. That's how you get around it.
And they said the same thing, but I'm like, but it's not here. We don't see it here. I'm like, oh, well, they looked it up. They're like, it says you could register it in Montana and then drive anywhere in the country. But I'm like, if that was the case, though, we'd see.
Oh, Florida boys would be doing this all day.
Yeah, you'd see it in Ocala and
something stop them.
Yeah. There's something with side by sides here in Florida.
Some other rule that stops that, because Florida boys.
And Crystal's get mad. She's like, don't just assume that just because you don't see it that it doesn't exist. I'm like, no, but we never see it. We'd see one or two around every once in a while, and even when especially outside of the cities, like I see it, and again, I see dune buggies.
Let's see what it says.
We try to look it up, and then there's not that much.
No, it's like it's got to be like a newer thing.
And again, I think it has to do with, I remember when I looked into making my two-stroke dirt bike street legal, if I put like a kit on it with like turn signals and a license plate or whatever, and I couldn't do it because the vehicle had to be a dual sport, like enduro, street, and off-road. It can't be a pure off-road vehicle. And I think dune buggies, when you build them, you could build it for like a homemade car.
Okay, the difference is Tennessee does allow. The difference is very simple.
They're registered off-road vehicles.
If they are registered in those other states, they're like, yeah, you can ride them on paved roads. If Florida does not, Florida's like, we don't care if you have Montana or Oregon, you can't be on paved.
It's an off-road vehicle.
Only.
Okay, yeah. So that's it. Yeah.
Off-road only.
You guys just talked about this.
We did. We never really figured out exactly why.
I want one so bad. Like, I just think it'd be cool to have your daily driver is a fucking off-road vehicle. And you pull up your little, like, it's raining in it. It's like, I don't know. That's weird.
But I think you could build your own car that looks like a side-by-side and register it on the road because it's a homemade build. But no one's gonna.
It's a lot of hoops, but you can register it, yeah.
I don't know. Let me get a
drink.
And then we'll start the BDM show. Oh, we got to switch over to...
Oh, shit. Yes. Guys, I've got to put us on Facebook, so we'll see you.